Hi, this is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're listening to the Going in Raw podcast, because Joey Janela always goes in.
This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Going in Raw.
Hey everyone, Kenny Omega here. In case you didn't know, we have an awesome kick butt show called Steve and Larson's Going in Raw, and they're going to be supporting AEW every week amongst many other things. Goodbye and smooch. Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you'll be listening to right here, youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Blood and Guts is on the horizon. We're about 2 weeks out from that, Larson. We were just talking about this in chat. Apparently, it's going to be a one-match card. Only Blood and Guts.
That was my understanding. I thought, granted, that could change, or, maybe someone phrased something incorrectly. But it seemed like coming out of this, that's the deal. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Yeah.
Pretty solid edition of AEW Dynamite tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
Yeah. Had a terrific main event.
All right, just get over with it.
We had a terrific main event, Larson, with Darby Allin in hot action with Jungle Boy.
Just get it over with. Just get over with.
Defending his TNT title.
Oh, my God.
Also, tonight we had Hikaru Shida successfully defending in a terrific match against Tay Conti. It opened up with Hangman Page and Ricky Starks. And, of course, we got Christian Cage getting his ass beat. Just move after move of these power moves, getting his ass beat. And every time Christian would get some offense in, he would pepper Hobbs with shots. And Hobbs had to sell it a slap to the face. He had to sell it like it was a buckshot lariat. And a back elbow from Christian. Christian's 175 pounds coming off on a frog splash. On what, 275-pound powerhouse Hobbs, and he's supposed to sell that? And then a single kill switch puts him down.
Let me ask you
no
something.
interference.
Let me ask you something.
No distraction.
I'm just gonna let you talk, because nothing I'm gonna say is gonna change your mind, so I'm not gonna waste my breath. I want to ask you one question.
Waste your breath. Go ahead.
I'll ask you one question. So, if you take that logic that you have Christian, while taller than Hobbs by about an inch, obviously not as muscular. So you would consider, I think fairly, Christian the smaller competitor. So depending on how far you want to take this logic, at no point should a smaller competitor ever beat a larger competitor.
That's not true. That is not true at all.
I'm happy you agree with that. Anyways,
that has nothing to do with what I'm saying, though. That's not a line of logic I'm using at all. It's not.
You were making the point that Hobbs, as a powerful wrestler, was beating up Christian. Christian would dole out offense, and Hobbs would have to sell it.
Yeah, but Christian wasn't doing the thing that actually makes some amount of sense when you have a smaller competitor with a larger competitor, and that is what? Use the larger competitor's size against them. He was not doing that in this match. This match made it seem like Powerhouse Hobbs versus Powerhouse Christian Cage. He slaps him. Oh, strong right from Christian. It was a slap.
I didn't get that they were trying to book Christian as if he can match Hobbs strength for strength. I didn't get that from the match whatsoever.
But they also didn't book this match. You're right. He wasn't doing power moves to Hobbs. However, that's why the match made no sense. I would have been okay with this win if it made any sense. If it made any sense. Daniel Bryan's a perfect example of a smaller guy who is smart enough to beat a bigger guy, and it makes sense. He chips away at him. This didn't make any sense. I didn't like it. I threw my soda at my TV like I promised I would.
I know that's not the case.
I did. I really wish you wouldn't call me a liar so often. I really did.
I mean, don't put me in the position where I have to.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I knew Christian was going to win this. I did think it was not, for how big Hobbs is, The match actually did not make a whole lot of sense. One kill switch. I understand that we're in the world of wrestling where a single ridiculous move can get the job done. I get that. I am happy to rant about certain things. It's fun to do that. And I do actually think, I do kind of feel, and I honestly, at this point, I feel like it's backwards. I do think that Christian might put over Ricky Starks. I kind of feel like it depends on which route they really want to take with Christian. But, they really pushed that Ricky Starks has an excellent record. He fell short to Hangman Page, but during the entire match, they were talking about how many wins both these guys have. Hangman's ranked number one. I think Ricky isn't.
I was really
behind.
worried that actually Starks had hurt his ankle.
I was worried he decapitated himself. Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp confirmed that when he landed in that German suplex, he was fine. He looked, I'm not going to say out of it. He didn't look wobbly. But the next move that went down when he started selling his ankle, I was wondering, is this an opportunity for him to get his bearings back? Because that was an ugly spill that he took.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah, because the match did seem a little clunky for a little while after that, and then when he got the momentum back, it felt a bit more crisp. And I don't know if he was sort of working that, if he was like, okay, let me make this clunky to make it look like I'm selling.
I don't know.
But Starks and Christian had a stare down after the Hobbs match.
Yeah.
And one of the functions of Christian being there now is he really should put some people over. I mean, maybe it should be a guy like Brian Cage, who's like the top of Team Taz, but they really seem to like Ricky Starks. I think that'd be a great win for Ricky Starks, unless they really want to do the whole, Christian's been around 30 years, so he should be beating everybody, which never makes sense in wrestling, but it's a wrestling convention.
Well, I think, the story of this was, and whether you like how the story was told is one thing, something else. But the story of the match was Hobbs was overpowering Christian basically at will. Basically get all the offense off he wanted to, except at the very end, he had to showboat a little bit, mock Christian, allows Christian the opportunity to slip out off his shoulder, hit a kill switch. Kill switch apparently is booked super strong in AEW. Christian gets the win. Right. That's the story of the match.
Yeah.
So if they're running with the idea that Christian, being a veteran for 25 years, whatever it was, will see those opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities when the younger, less experienced talent, makes these mistakes. And if it's an ongoing thing, then that's a storyline. And as long as it's consistent, I'll roll with it. I didn't necessarily have the same issues you did with the match because this is why AEW, historically speaking, has been pretty good with this type of stuff. I brought up the Darby Allin example to you before we got rolling, where Darby Allin lost a match because he messed up the crucifix pin against Cody. Got it right the next time, became TNT champion. They pay attention to these things where young wrestlers, especially, come into the company, and because they're young, they make mistakes that the veteran wrestlers don't. And they usually do a pretty good job of having the less experienced wrestlers learn from those mistakes. And my hope is at some point, Will Hobbs will be in a situation like this in the future against an opponent the caliber of Christian, a Hall of Famer, and won't make that same mistake. And therefore, that's his growth as a performer, as a wrestler. That's a good story to tell.
Yeah, if they do it, I'll believe it when I see it. I thought this was trash because I think Hobbs is a special talent, and I don't think that he should be. I don't think he should be in these kind of losses, especially the way the match was booked. Spine buster, power slam, all these huge moves. And Christian, I was like, okay, where is Christian actually chopping this guy down? Where is he getting him primed for the situation where a kill switch will put him down?
He just took advantage of one mistake. We see that happen all the time in matches.
One kill switch. It's completely overpowered.
It's booked strong in AEW. I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's exactly right. It's booked strong in AEW. I like stuff to be like AEW, but then they also book Sting's really super strong. He's like 60 years old. So I mean, they're just adhering to the standard wrestling trope that the older you are, the stronger you get. That's just what it is. If you can have a match in the ring, if you're super old, you're going to do really well. Standard wrestling trope. We see it all the time.
The experience meter
is off the charts, and you're right. It trumps all. Exactly.
It trumps all. See, I was hoping I was maybe trying to bringing up the smaller, larger competitor. I was just seeing which way you're taking things. So that's at first when you try to explain, I thought, okay, well, is that the point you're trying to make? I misunderstood. My bad.
No, I get it. No, I know. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think that. No, obviously a smaller competitor. Like I brought up Daniel Bryan. Like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I've been watching wrestling long enough. This wasn't that. This was like power move, power move, power move, and I'm like, okay, where is Christian gonna do the thing that somebody who is outmatched in size typically does in wrestling? Oh, he's not gonna do that. He's just old, so he's gonna win.
There was one instance, one little bit that I kind of liked, where Christian, he's in the corner, he's selling. He actually makes like a grimace face because the camera's pretty close on him. He actually does something like this, but then looks at the side of his eye. He sees Hobbs charge him, bang, elbow.
Yeah.
So there's at least one instance where he drew him in and hit a move on him.
Well, no, like you say, experience trumps everything. I don't know. I just like to talk shit sometimes. It's fun to talk shit.
fine.
See something that I don't like to talk shit. I called this earlier today, but I was hoping that they would do, hey, you know what? Keep Hobbs strong. Keep him strong. A distraction or something will, because a distraction is more of a tell for inexperience. It's like you're not keeping your eye on the prize. If Team Taz, who is a bumbling mess anyways, if they come out, and I mean, it's not like AEW is people randomly running down that tunnel during a match as a foreign concept. They do it like every other match. And Team Taz especially. If somebody was to run down if Cage was to stumble out there, or I mean, Hook was
they're
already
not ready to go that
Hook was
far with
ringside
the
other
Team
match.
Taz imploding storyline yet, where they're costing one of the members a match. Maybe that's just a timing thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But no, I get your points. Like, I think I'm focusing more on the macro story than the micro story of what they're doing with Hobbs and Christian.
Well, I don't think they're doing anything with them. I mean, they're not. I mean, this is a match, and it's leading to Starks versus Christian, and that's going to be the end of it. But
I'm not saying. I'm saying the macro story of both of them. Whereas, 6 months, 12 months down the line, are they going to make references to this stuff or no?
I hope
That's
they
what I'm
do.
talking
And
about.
sometimes it's on the like as we've seen in WE. With the Bianca Belair stuff. Sometimes it feels like it's on the wrestler. AEW has done, at least in that instance with Darby Allin. We've seen it a couple other times. They have done a really good job with that. I hope Will Hobbs, as a performer, takes it upon himself as well to incorporate, whatever lesson the character Hobbs might learn from this. I hope he incorporates that.
Definitely.
Continue on.
And if it does, and I think it adds dimension to the Will Hobbs character, doesn't make him as one-dimensional as like in WWE, where they book someone to be this huge powerhouse to squash everybody, and then it's kind of just the same thing over and over again. I appreciate they're trying to add some dimension to the character.
As people here in chat talk about YouTube comments and engagement, let me remind you, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sure all the Christian stans out there, oh, of course he's a Hall of Famer. Of course he should have won this match.
See, I'm not a Christian stan, but I'm reasonable enough. I'm not that well versed in his career. I am not. Based on his accomplishments and based on the criteria of WWE Hall of Fame, he's a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He is.
Okay.
He is.
Okay. Shitbag Hall of Fame. Otherwise, I thought AEW was a fine show tonight. It was a lot of fun.
It was a fun show.
Yeah. Stan. Ricky Starks versus Hangman Page kicked things off. Ricky had a short promo, talked about Hangman being ranked number one, said something about a diamond, and he's going to show everyone why they call him Absolute. Hell of a match. There was, as we mentioned earlier, there was a scary moment when Ricky Starks supposed to flip back, I think, and land, sort of flip out of a German suplex.
Either on his knees or on his feet, for German suplex. Kind of got his... I mean, thankfully he landed like that.
Oh my God, I know.
Because if he'd landed like that, that would have been bad.
Yeah. Garrett says Larson is a Chris Stan. Come on, it's funny. It's funny.
I'm not saying I'm not insulted by it.
Chris Stan. Oh, so you are a Stan. Anyways, Hangman hits him with a clothesline. Ricky seems a bit out of it after that. Sells his ankle. Eventually comes to, hits a Liger bomb for 2. Hangman gets a close 2 with a lariat. Then Ricky counters a buckshot attempt with a spear for 2. Hangman goes for a Deadeye. Ricky evades that. That's the move that Hangman's been using recently to finish off matches. And then Hangman taps out Ricky with like sort of a bulldog ankle type smishing, sort of wraps up.
Grabbing the foot too,
Yeah.
The bum ankle. So I don't know if that was a story thing they had planned in advance. If so, Ricky Starks did a hell of a job selling that because he'd go up to the top rope and wasn't putting any weight on that leg whatsoever.
Yeah, I was way more concerned about the neck. God, that was scary. That was scary, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, afterwards, Taz, who's on commentary, grabs the mic, tells Paige, "Hey, look at me. You got lucky. You're the #1 ranked wrestler around here, but you got lucky this time. You need to worry about watching your back." So then Hook hits the ring, hits Paige with the chop block. Starks, he gets up. He holds up Paige. Hangman fights out of that. They overwhelm him, though. Brian Cage hits the ring. He's about to powerbomb Paige. Dark Order. They run out.
Hook is my favorite. He's great. Somebody here in chat, who was in chat, said
I don't recall.
Hook looks like a kid who has to be woken up at 3 o'clock every day by Taz. Come on, what are you doing? What are you doing with your day? Wake up. Come on, let's go. Puts on his hat. Ready for the day. All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Dr. Squatch. Hey, Larson.
Yeah?
It's time for some real talk, man. That soap you're using, it's probably no good crap. It's filled with harsh chemicals, synthetic detergents, and it's absolutely brutal on your skin. But listen to me. If you're ready to step up your game to soap that's natural and great for your skin, you best check out Dr. Squatch. You see, Dr. Squatch is changing the game when it comes to men's hygiene with their natural personal care products that make you feel like a man and smell like a champion. Oh, yeah.
I want to smell like a champion.
Of course you do. Luckily for you, Dr. Squatch soaps come in a wide variety of natural manly scents, like their best-selling Pine Tar, or Grapefruit IPA, or Deep Sea Goat Milk, all of which are going to completely transform your shower-taking experience. I promise you, friendo, after you get in the shower, you lather yourself up with some Dr. Squatch, you'll feel like a new man. Oh, yeah, I know I do. I feel like a macho man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Madness.
Oh, yeah? Well, let me ask you this. Is there, can I get these Dr. Squatch soaps delivered, like, to me?
Ooh.
Like, perhaps some sort of subscription thing I could do so, like, fresh bars would show up, like, on my doorstep, say, every few months?
Oh, yeah, it's like the cream of the crop, Larson. In fact, right now, new customers can get 20% off on orders of $20 or more when they go to drsquatch.com and enter code DSCRAW. That's drsquatch.com, code DSCRAW for 20% off on orders of $20 or more. Can't wait till we're done with this episode so I can go and lather myself up with some Dr. Squatch. Oh, yeah. Dig it! After that, we see the Elite heading to their Fancy Pants trailer. And then we had... Oh, I was happy about this. I was worried about this match too, Larson. You know, as much as you claim to be the shill around here for AEW, I get emotionally invested in this stuff. Pentagon, at one point tonight, I had three...
You try to tell me that AEW does not do drama well, and then you get so invested in these matches that you claim to throw sodas at your TV because they don't go your way.
Why aren't you celebrating the fact that I'm so invested in your precious AEW? You should be celebrating that, not
because
throwing it back at me.
If I mention it, then out of spite, you're going to be like, no, I'm going to divest myself from this program emotionally.
Yeah. Well, I'm a complex human. I thought for sure this was going to be a win for Trent. I was really happy that wasn't the case because of all these distractions. It was great. And maybe that's why, because they're like, okay, we've got 2 matches. Oh, wait, no, hold on a second. When was the Hobbs match? Oh, yeah, the Hobbs match wasn't until like way later. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, before the match, we had another one of those terrific Penta Says promos. Now he's got a Penta Says shirt, which I purchased from shopaw.com.
Have you got that Sami Zayn shirt yet?
How many AEW shirts do you have, man? shopaw.com.
I don't think I have any.
What?
I don't think I've ever bought a shirt off Shop AEW.
I should have tossed one of those Penta shirts into my cart for you.
You know, I couldn't have put an end to buying wrestling shirts because I have a whole drawer full of them, and I'm like, I kind of feel like I have too many. I need to diversify my shirt options, and so I've just kind of not bought wrestling shirts. I did the Sammy one because it's a cool shirt.
Oh, that's a good shirt, yeah.
And you know, the proceeds are going to Sammy's mobile clinic, so that's more or less why I got it.
I'm gonna get you a Cero Miedo shirt.
Okay.
Anyways,
I like Pentagon a lot.
Speaking of Pentagon, he took on Trent tonight. Before that, Pentagon says best friend. So obviously Pentagon talks his trash, and then Alex translates for him. Says, best friends, you never should have reignited this war with the Death Triangle. In Orange Cassidy, you're going to be squeezed into orange juice. He does it with such gusto. It's amazing.
Anyways, this match was pretty fun. There's a couple bits that seemed like the timing was a little off in the beginning, but whatever.
Yeah, Trent's coming back for a while from a pretty decent long injury there.
Yeah, several months. So anyways, Trent hits a running Meteora, belly back suplex, and then Penta pulls Trent out of the ring looking for a tope, but as he's running the ropes, Trent runs back in, bang, clothesline, sends Penta out of the ring, tope of his own. Down towards the end, Penta's looking for a package pile driver on the apron. Trent fights out. They're brawling on the apron for a bit, and Trent gives Penta a pile driver on the apron. And I've never seen anybody so, like I said, he's like doing the Finn freeze. If anybody knows what that is, when Finn stands.
Imagine a tree log being pile driven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've never seen anybody take a pile driver so rigid before. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So they both tumble to the floor. Trent follows with the spear on the floor, and then Alex gets the mic and tells Trent, hey, I didn't mention this before the match. I got a message from Penta. This is it. You suck. Your friend sucks. You want to know who sucks the most? Your mom.
Your mom sucks.
And so Trent goes and gets a chair. Alex flees, rolls into the ring, stands there. Orange Cassidy then gets to the ring. He stands behind Alex. Penta then super kicks Orange Cassidy. The rest distracted with all that. And so Alex then clocks Trent with the mic. Penta follows with the package pile driver to get the win.
You have to appreciate the special skills needed for that ref to miss everything that happened on so many different parts of the ring.
Yes.
Because you got Pentagon showing up on one side where Orange Cassidy is, and then you got Trent over there, and then somehow the ref doesn't see Trent get knocked in the head because this stuff's happening over here. It was pretty silly stuff, but I thought it was a lot of fun.
It was.
After that, we had a sit-down interview with the Pinnacle. It was really just MJF and Wardlow talking. Wardlow hands MJF a new silk scarf.
Spring now.
Yeah, because
don't need the wool scarf anymore.
Exactly. So Wardlow says of Jericho, cut one of the best promos of your career, cutting a promo on everybody here till you got to me. You stumbled over your words when you got to me. The moment the word Wardlow came out of your mouth, you knew you were doing something wrong. MJF sort of takes back over at that point. He says Jericho gets an F for his promo. He talks about the Jericho rub. Wrestling people, fans already want to see, and then claiming credit for elevating. I mean, basically names off everybody that Jericho has done this with. He says, real smart, Chris. He says, for 30 years, you've been outsmarting everyone except for me. I was the one guy you couldn't keep under your thumb. When you were 25, you were curtain jerking worldwide. I'm 25. I'm a top guy hanging out with top guys. Instead of sending out your stooge Tyson, send your family. I'll send mine, and we'll see how it works out at Blood and Guts. He says, you're right. I am a mark, but I'm not a mark for you. I'm a mark for your spot. And on May 5th at Blood and Guts, I'm going to take it. Because when you're in the Pinnacle, you're always on top. I thought it was pretty strong stuff, especially considering he was sitting down.
Yeah, I like this line. He says Jericho was the GOAT, but now he's surrounding himself with B's because he wants to look like an A. He wrestles A so he doesn't look like a B.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he does. But it turns out you're an F, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was good stuff. That was strong stuff. After that, we had Tay Conti versus Hikaru Shida for the women's title. I thought this match was really good. Tay Conti had a strong showing. Shida is probably the most dominant champion in AEW right now. Probably. I think she's had that belt for nearly a year.
Yeah. No, I like the storytelling in this match. Start off with them blocking each other's judo moves, judo throws. Tay Conti, it's sort of her strong suit. She eventually hits it. Shida starts working the back with a bunch of different submissions. She gets two with Falcon Arrow. Tay kicks out of that. That witch's shot backbreaker over the top turnbuckle was pretty great.
That was great.
Tay KO gets only two. Shida hits like a dude buster type thing for two.
Yeah.
And then hits a backbreaker and a Katana knee strike for three.
Yeah.
Really stellar match between these two.
It was one of those matches you feel like if Tay could have got her finish off, her hammerlock DDT, then this match would have went the other way.
She kept on going for it. I feel like also so, Darby made mention of Shida is a dominant champion, but she also doesn't wrestle a whole lot. I feel like this should have been the main event, given that Darby has sort of made it his goal to make the TNT title more of a TV title where it's defended a lot. So I kind of feel like that probably shouldn't have been in the main event. And they could have given this a much better big match feel had they sort of done some video vignettes through the show, because they did one preceding the match. If they had done it through the show and then built it to the main event, because look, I think we all probably realized that Shida was going to win this because Britt Baker's coming after her. And in fact, after this match, Britt comes out, points at the Tron, and you see the standings, and then it goes, blah, 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 and she is now the number one, ranked number one. So she's fulfilled her goal. But I do feel like that would have been a great closing sequence to see that, and then maybe they do a face-off between the two of them, like a proper face-off.
Built to a match between the two of them at a Double or Nothing.
Because I think this match kind of deserved a main event spot, given that the title shots seem to be a bit fewer and far between for Shida. But otherwise, terrific match. Yeah,
it was really good. It was really good. After that, we had a Miro promo. He says, another week, still no Kip. He says, whatever, I came to AEW. I need my vindication. I don't care who it is. I don't care. I don't care who it is. If they got a title, they got a problem. Mentions Kenny. Mentions Darby. Says, real question is, which champ do I beat first?
This is a good thing. Who do you think is going to go after first, dude?
I would imagine Darby.
It's got to be Darby, right?
I could see Miro taking that TNT title off Darby.
Ooh, Frenzy54 says Miro taking the FTW title. Was that referenced on there too? I didn't know.
They only showed B-roll at least of Kenny and Darby.
All right.
Because I feel like they got something pretty planned out for Kenny. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like if Miro's going to, let's say Miro's going to be AEW champ, I don't feel like that's the guy you feed to Kenny in his title reign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So, and I feel like if the story with Darby is he's defending that title every week, we saw it tonight. This is the closest he's had to losing that belt tonight.
Yep.
If week after week he's just taken such a beating, that his body only has so much in it, and then he has to cross paths with Miro, and Miro just decimates him, destroys him, wins the title. I could see that happen.
That'd be strong stuff. Yeah.
After that, we had an Inner Circle interview. And Jericho's asked about Pinnacle. He says, who cares about Pinnacle when the crowd is being this loud singing Judas? He says, there's a lot of energy in the building tonight because May 5th is blood and guts for the first time ever. It's going to be one of the most violent matches ever seen. Hager starts throwing straws out and says, look, we've got gifts for you. You're going to be drinking your meat out of these straws for the next month after this match. Jericho says, only MJF of the people in Pinnacle says anything. Says no one else says anything other than MJF. Santana grabs the mic. So they've all been saying they want to wrestle the best, everybody in Pinnacle. But then they crew up and jump Inner Circle. He says, where we come from, that's called the bitch move. Jericho says, MJF, when he needs to stop talking because when he talks, he never feels like there's any conviction. It's like he's reading from a script. He still thinks he's singing show tunes on Rosie. And Jericho says, I could sing show tunes as well. In fact, I wrote one about my jerk-off friend. And he sings it. It sounds like he maybe was making up half of it on the spot because it kind of petered out.
He got lost when it came to rhyming.
It was the toilet bit. Now, he could have rhymed it with poop, but maybe
I think the plan was to rhyme it with poop, with poo, because it was like you.
Yeah.
And I think he meant to say
he got lost. Maybe he was told you couldn't.
Yeah, but I mean, he recovered well. It was pretty funny the way he recovered.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, he says, hey, that scarf that Tully gave you, I washed my ass with it before Tully got it. He says it's fun to make jokes about the Pinnacle, but Blood and Guts is going to be a lesson in violence that you'll never forget. He's sick of cutting promos. Next week, Inner Circle and Pinnacle will parlay. Explains what parlay is. Says at Blood and Guts he's going to beat the living hell out of MJF, and you think that's just a line from drama class. They're crazier. The Inner Circle is crazier than Pinnacle, and you know it.
So who had the better promo tonight, Jericho or MJF? The Inner Circle or... Yeah, it was MJF.
MJF did.
Yeah. He didn't forget his lines. Oh, man. Match of the night right here. QT Marshall versus Billy Gunn. We had a QT bowling shirt promo. You know what he said? I was just staring at that shirt.
Okay, I
Anyways.
know what he says. Well, Anthony Agogo says he hates it in America. He's only here to make huge money. And QT says he's going to prove to Billy that being loyal to Cody gets you nowhere.
My favorite thing about this match was the fact that mid-match they advertised that terrible Cody jacket for shopaew.com. I mean, I know it's partially because he's in a feud with Cody, so it's apropos to mention whatever you're going to sell with Cody. It's just extra funny because QT's in there wrestling, Billy Gunn, who's no chump. And they say, by the way, you can get this Cody jacket. It's the ugliest thing. It's ugliest thing. It's brilliantly ugly.
It's not a handsome looking jacket, anyways. So Billy is predictably dominating QT.
Talk about a big
match.
dude against a smaller guy.
Yeah. Billy Gunn is legit.
He's like a statue still.
He is huge. I'll never forget when the first Raw I ever went to. I was walking to the bathroom or something. Sure enough, Billy Gunn sitting in a folding chair on a public phone at the event center at UC Davis. And even sitting down, you could tell he was massive. Not just buff, massive, tall.
It's hilarious to watch. Like we recently did that SummerSlam going in Raw View. It's funny to watch those old ones, and you could just see, how the years have affected pro wrestling. The smaller guys, the Ring of Honor guys come through, and it's like, okay, well, there's the shift right there. Mm-hmm. But like Vince and his predilection for big dudes, because Billy Gunn just looks like a normal guy back then. But then you see him roaming around at StarCast, and it's like he is massive. Giant hands, like a big head, giant body. Still looks amazing.
Tall.
And so tall.
And tall.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. So before the match even begins, Billy Gunn lays out the factory on the stage during their entrance, and he just proceeds to dominate QT all over the place. Nick Camarado tries to get involved at one point. Billy pretty quickly overcomes, especially after his kid just jump over the barricade and brawl with Camarado and Solo out of the arena. Eventually, though, QT does hit a pile driver on Billy. That gets him a 2 count. Billy makes a comeback, hits a slam, misses a famouser. QT goes for a diamond cutter. Billy just kind of shoves him off. They go to the stage a little bit. So Billy tosses QT into the ring, and while QT's selling there, he kind of distracts the ref. Anthony Agogo comes out, gut punches Billy. Billy stumbles in the ring.
Vomits.
Diamond cutter from QT to get the win. Afterwards, Agogo pulls like a wooden chair from under the ring, hands it to QT. And QT is like he's like sizing up Billy, waiting, trying to hit him in like the perfect spot over the back.
This was such a brilliant spot because you look at this thing and it looks so sturdy and rickety. And then the fact that Billy Gunn gets saved by Dustin. Dustin comes running down and you're like, oh man, they were never going to do that chair shot, right? So Dustin comes down, makes a save. He's got a bull rope, beats up QT. You get a power slam. And then who is it? Was it Dustin? It was Dustin that like killed that chair over Camarado's head, and it just evaporates. And this dude no-sells it.
He doesn't budge.
He doesn't budge. A second ago, I thought this
just doesn't budge.
I thought this thing was going to be like way too sturdy to like, you don't want to hit somebody with that. And then they do with Camarado and it just explodes over his head and he doesn't move. It was an impressive spot. It was a good little sort of bit of playing with your expectations there.
Yeah. Yep. He no-sells it. After that, the Elite, they're in their trailer. Don Callis talk about how much he loves history. In history, there's never been an assemblage of talent like these men. Puts each of them over. Talks about Kenny being the AEW champ, the AAA mega champ, soon to be Impact champ. And like Kenny, or more so the Young Bucks, are wearing like obnoxious outfits. Loud.
Nick's was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was great.
Matt says, as a group, this is group that led to business going up in Japan. These are the people that sparked the movement that created AEW. And Nick says, yeah, AEW. It's not called Mox Kingston Wrestling. But if they want us, they can come get us. And Kenny's like, all right, it's time to get a little serious. He says, to all the people who hate the elite, who think we're just a bunch of maniacs, I got a message for you. And there's a car horn that starts blaring outside. And like, what? We're live. We can't restart it. And Kenny's like, Gallows, look out the window.
Gallows said, we're live, pal.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And Kenny goes, hey, Gallows, look out the window. What's going on? And Gallows is like barely turns around and kind of says, no, I'm not going to do it. And Kenny's like, go outside. So we cut outside, and it's Mox and Kingston in a truck. And the Mox barrels the side of the trailer with his truck. Eddie and Mox get out. Mox starts banging on the trailer with a pipe, breaking some windows. They go in. Apparently, there's nobody in there.
Where'd they go?
I don't know how the elite got out, but they got out somehow.
I mean, I'm assuming they just ran. But
yeah, probably.
It's one of those things. I mentioned this earlier before the cameras are rolling, really. I said it's probably one of those things where they just put on paper, okay, the elite, by the time they get there, the elite are gone. You think they'd leave some sort of like, they're like running off in the distance.
Maybe they just didn't get the coverage they needed on that whole segment.
That could be.
Afterwards, they realized, we didn't get that shot of them running away. Mm-hmm. Anyways, Kingston calls them cowards, and let's get back in the truck. And then Eddie's like, yeah, let's go get a steak.
Yeah, it was pretty funny stuff. Kingston and Mox just have like top chemistry.
Mm-hmm. We already went through this.
Here we go. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Christian. Dud. 0 stars. Oh my goodness. This guy's gone from wrestling for how many years? Comes back. All of a sudden he's booked like Hogan.
Hogan never took this much offense.
Anyways, after that match, I mentioned this also, Starks comes out to check on Hobbs. Him and Christian stare at each other. Love is in the air. After that, we had
they did announce that next week Brian Cage versus Hangman Page is going to happen. That should be good.
Yes, yeah, because he tried to drill claw the shit out of him tonight.
Yeah, also announced for next week, we get Penta versus Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford, Young Bucks versus the Brothers Seidel, Nightmare Family versus The Factory. I kind of feel like that should be a blood and guts match, honestly.
Yeah, right.
But Cody's not involved in this one. Inner Circle and Pinnacle doing their parlay, and then Brian Cage versus Hangman Page, and then yes, Jade Cargill promo.
If AEW continues to top, like they keep on going up, this week they get 1.3. Next week, 1.5. Next week, 1.6.
That would best their debut if they got
Blood and Guts, best Raw. Right?
Yeah.
And the next week, Cody comes back, goes to 900,000. Do you then get rid of Cody?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You do. Okay. Put Cody on elevation.
Numbers don't lie, man.
Numbers don't lie. After that, Jade Cargill talks about how all the managers in AEW want to sign her, but she says it better be a good deal if you're going to sign me.
Yeah. And then we got our main event, Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. I like that early on Jungle Boy did all that he could to ground Darby Allin. Don't let Darby build momentum.
Yep.
Because when he goes on a run, strings a bunch of offense together. It's not good if you're his opponent. Eventually, though, Darby does hit a springboard hip toss. Jungle Boy is looking for the snare trap. Darby gets to the ropes. Gets to the ropes. Darby does a double leg takedown to Jungle Boy, hits some ground and pound. Jungle Boy rolls to the floor. Darby drives him to the ring post. Jungle Boy drives Darby over the barricade. We go to commercial for picture-in-picture. I believe this is when that happened. Jungle Boy goes up top. Darby beats him up there, superplex. And then Darby runs into a back elbow, but responds with a belly-to-belly into corner, followed with the... Jungle Boy hits a belly-to-belly into the corner and follows with a German suplex. Then a tiger suplex. Darby kicks out. Darby hits a stunner, gets a 2 count. He hits a couple of corner splashes. When he goes for a third, he runs a double knees. And then Jungle Boy hits a poison Rana. They got his legs not over the shoulder, but kind of around the like under his arms, kind of. Around his torso.
Yeah.
Drove him into the mat. Darby rolls out of the ring, and then Jungle Boy follows with a pair of suicide dives, then a tope over the top rope. Back in the ring, around the apron now. Darby hits some kicks and stomps, follows with a coffin drop. They both tumble to the floor. Darby beats the 10 count, but Luchasaurus has to go over and put Jungle Boy on the apron and roll him in the ring for him to beat the 10 count. Sting comes over and confronts Luchasaurus. They start brawling. They brawl through the tunnel. Back in the ring, Jungle Boy hits clothesline, brainbuster, sliding elbow, gets a 2 count. He locks on the snare trap. Darby's starting to fade. He crawls to the bottom rope, grabs it. But then Jungle Boy pulls him back towards the middle of the ring, puts him in a surfboard a couple times, right back into the snare trap. Darby got desperate. Started putting his fingers in Jungle Boy's eyes. Hadn't seen him do that before.
Yeah.
To break the hold, Jungle Boy goes for a sunset flip. Darby rolls through, locks on Last Supper to get the win.
Yeah, I like your theory about how he's just sort of running himself into the ground. It'd be fun if Miro took advantage of the mental toll that would take as well. You know, trick him into taking like a second match on one night. You know, and get the win in sort of a cheap manner like that. That could be really fun stuff. I mean, you just all you got to do is read Batman's Nightfall storyline.
There you go. There you go.
Break that. How about Miro? What if Miro broke his back? Wouldn't that be great? Ooh. Like as a work, not as a shoot.
Yeah.
You know, he does the thing where he lifts him up. Does
huge
that.
Backbreaker right to the accolade. I mean,
see, Batista wants to play Bane.
I saw that.
Lobo's the guy.
Yeah, Lobo would be great. Lobo would be great.
Yeah.
Anyways, after the match, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page hit the ring. They start beating up Jungle Boy and Darby Allin. Page hits Darby with an Ego's Edge. Lance Archer runs out. He's looking for a double choke slam on Sky and Page. They escape. They start beating him up a little bit. Sting comes back to the ring with the baseball bat. Page and Scorpio Sky leave. So I like they have Sting making the save for Lance Archer here.
Yeah.
So maybe Sting is going to put together a bit of a stable himself.
Archer. I like that when Archer
Darby.
runs out, you see Jake Roberts with what looks like, I know it's a tracksuit, but when he was wearing it, it looked like AEW jammies.
Oh, yeah.
And his hair is all like messed up.
Yeah.
I was taking my nap. I get up. Archer's gone. Goddamn. I got to go find him now. Ooh, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let's answer some questions here. I'm sure we got some good ones here on the Patreon at patreon.com/.
Here on the Twitch too. Goldie Vorman says, but aren't they building Christian versus Kenny Omega for the Impact AEW World Title?
I mean, when he came out,
stated goal, yes.
He said, yeah, he wants a piece of that. I mean, AEW's good at like, hey, do it the old WWE way. You debut a guy aiming for the top, and then sort of put him back where he's going to land up. Maybe he'll progress, or maybe he'll do what he's supposed to do and put over guys like Powerhouse Hobbs.
That's what Christian said initially when he eventually talked after 2 or 3 weeks. That he's aiming for that AEW title, but he understood I can't just walk in and get a title shot. I have to put some wins together to get there.
Right.
Right now he has 2.
Right now he's got 2. Should be 1 and 1.
Frenzy54 with the sub. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is a good question. David Matushek. After JR announced at AEW, it's Powerbomb, announced that AEW will be back on tour sometime around July. Where do you think they should go first? Easy. Sacramento. Beeline straight to Sacktown.
Sure.
So to the Taco Festival in July.
That'd be great.
And we can go check them out. Have some tacos, some fun. We'll vlog it. It's great.
That'd be fun.
Rob Conway guy. If the Inner Circle were to bring, you love Rob Conway guy. I'm sad that Rob Conway guy's question tonight doesn't have a Rob Conway reference. I know, right? I was hoping that would be his gimmick. He says, if the Inner Circle were to bring in their mirror version of Tully and exclude Tyson from this, who would you pair them with? So my first inclination is one of the Horsemen, another Horseman, or would the mirror version be an anti-Horseman? And in which case,
probably.
Who was really the anti-Horseman?
As a faction?
Would you say it was, the NWO ended up sort of burying them, but in their heyday, was there like another faction that would take on the Horsemen?
Not that I recall.
Just Dusty Rhodes?
Or Sting.
Yeah.
For the longest time, it was Sting.
Yo Long Heavy says, I don't know. Sid's always a safe answer. Sid.
Sid?
Sid. Yeah.
Sid. Flat says, I love Penta dressed like Batman for no reason.
Oh, the Freebirds. Yeah, did the Freebirds fight the Horsemen? I'm not up on my history. I'm still enraged that Hobbs didn't beat Christian.
Yeah, you'll get over it. Spider-Man 2007 with the sub. Thank you so much.
Moses opposes. Is there going to be any differentiating qualities of Blood and Guts compared to War Games? I don't recall War Games being a single match in a 2-hour show.
It was not.
So length, seemingly length.
F. Sagan, Shida, Conti was way more interesting to watch than the main event.
I agree with that. I didn't think for a second that Shida was going to lose, but they could have made a better case going into that match. That's the best matches, title matches that there could be a title change.
Exactly.
And if you build it so it's a big match feel, and the TNT title match is like, I knew Darby Allin was going to win that.
Yeah, I know. Totally. Asian Murr with Christian Cage showing why he's a future Hall of Famer. Where does he go from here, Steve?
Shitbag Hall of Fame. Shitbag wing for sure.
I mean, no such entity exists. So, truthfully, honestly,
I've created it. It exists. It's a real thing that exists in my office here. And it was just more than I can say for WE or TNA. They don't have real halls of fame. Anyways, what was the question? Where does Christian go on for here? Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Hopefully he puts him over. Hopefully he does what he's there to do, put him over.
How do you know he's there to put people over?
Why wouldn't he be? He's old. That's what old people should do. It's completely what old people should do. Do you disagree with that?
I don't know what story they have to tell for him.
In general, though, you know I'm right. Old people should be around to put younger people over.
Veteran talent should be there to help younger talent progress. If that means putting them over, then yes.
Yes, correct. That's what exactly. I'm glad you agree with me on that. Cameron Bortolazzo. We speculate about all the WWE stars who might go to AEW, but which AEW star do you think might end up in WE? Powerhouse Hobbs, if they keep booking him like this. Doesn't work for me, brother. He needs to learn those words. Doesn't work for me, brother. All right, Hobbs, here's the deal. You're going to dominate this match, okay? Check. It's on the list of Powerhouse Hobbs demands. Check, dominate a match. And then, okay, one kill switch and you lose. Doesn't work for me, brother. Got to wipe off the whiteboard at that point, dude. I'm sorry, was there a question?
YouTubian, I know it might give off SmackDown top 10 vibes. Would it be beneficial if there was more than 5 people excluding champs in the rankings?
No, I think you might get kind of convoluted at that point.
Yes.
I think they use the rank. I think they could use the rankings a little bit more, but I really like how they used it with Britt Baker. I like how they're using it with Hangman Page. I actually kind of really appreciate the ranking system, and I think they could actually do a little bit more with it.
Yeah, agreed. I think what they're doing with Britt now is kind of the most continued thing they've done in terms of using the power rankings for a story.
Power rank. Let's see here. Sleazy Mo has a good question here. WrestleMania has now been held in 3 out of the 4 major cities in the state of Florida. The only one left is Jaguar Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida. Do you think WE will ever try to hold a WrestleMania in AEW territory?
I don't think they'd make a point of doing it. I think if the city of Jacksonville made a good pitch for it, I think that would be considerate. But
hey, do you have chat in front of you?
Yeah. Why?
Don't read it loud, but look at Will Terminator's chat.
Well, I'm going to lose my spot here.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind. You'll get to it.
Because I'm going from the beginning of the show.
Who just
forward.
puts that in a chat room? What's your problem? Get that fixed, man. The uninvited ghost. The uninvited ghost says, what are the first 5 wrestlers that come to mind that are in the WE Hall of Fame, but less deserving to be there than Christian? Oh, the list is plentiful. It really is. And I'm not going to go there because I don't want to run anybody down whose name isn't Christian tonight. I feel like I've run him down. By the way, I think I hope this goes without saying. I think Christian's terrific. I really do.
He's a Hall of Famer
This is
for sure,
meant to be an entertaining show. So, and when you say he should be a Hall of Famer, that's exactly, if the criteria is as it stands and all those other people are in there that clearly aren't Hall of Famers in terms of other, like the criteria for other sports, then yeah. But if you want to be a bit more exclusive, which I think they should be, my opinion is no, hard no, unless it's in there with Edge as a tag team.
I've said from the very beginning, Christian is a Hall of Famer based on the criteria of the WWE Hall of Fame. He's totally a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
1000%.
but my criteria
1000%.
is different.
See, but your Hall of Fame doesn't exist, so I can disregard your criteria.
Well, I can disregard your criteria too.
My criteria is WWE's criteria. So if you're disregarding my criteria,
You have no idea what WWE's criteria is because you're not Vince McMahon. You are not him. You have no idea what's going on in his head. B-Rock says, it's a spine buster. No, it's a spine buster, JR.
And I think he said, yeah, whatever it is. Jorge D, after Team Taz's bad night, Taz wants to cheer them up, so he decides to take them to the Golden Corral to eat their troubles away. The Golden Corral is full, but Taz sees that Steve and Larson have a big table that Team Taz could fit in. Taz asks, hey, you guys, can we sit with you? Look at our traps and our lats. Steve says yes right away. Taz
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say yes. Taz asks if you can please grab food for them since they are too down to do it themselves. What do you bring back to cheer them up? Dessert.
I thought you were about to say D's nuts. What would I bring them back?
Soft serve with some caramel sauce on it.
I don't like ice cream. And whenever I get them, I'm going to have some of it. So I'll just go.
Ooh, if they have like some bread pudding, that sounds good.
I'll go get them like some, I'll go get them some like cake. I really like cake. I'll say, hey, Team Taz over there, give me 6 cakes. And like a little kid's cake for Hook. And they're like, why are you, is that how you really talk? And I'm like, no, but I'm going to go talk to Taz right now.
Oh my God.
I can't help myself. He's right there. Oh, wow. Zoe Canrana says, the question is, what does Christian have to do in AEW to be Hall of Fame worthy to Steve? Well, number one, he's already shitbag Hall of Fame. Number two, to be worthy of my Hall of Fame, the only Hall of Fame that actually matters, is he'd have to go back in time, have better world title runs. That's it. His world title runs were crappy. He had, like, when Vince instantly has buyer's remorse on your world title run.
Is that the story or is that your conjecture?
I think that story was told. He was like, yeah, Randy Orton's going to get it right back. And Randy Orton was like, no, dude, can you not do that? Like, he should have a longer run. Good guy, Randy Orton. Vince is like, nope. Heat.
Rocco, that May 5th show should be the first half Pinnacle in the Inner Circle. And then Cody should book by himself, obviously, squashing the Marshall Plan. First hour, Blood and Guts. Second hour, Cody squashing Marshall Plan.
Why aren't they called the Marshall Plan? It's great.
Factory.
Zoe Canrana has a good point, though. At least he didn't get stacked and pinned at Mania like a loser. Yeah, Ed should be out of. They should kick him out of the Hall of Fame for getting stacked in the main event of WrestleMania.
F. Sagan, am I the only one who felt that Shida, for the first time since her match with Thunder Rosa at All Out, felt like she was wrestling like her character was scared to lose the title? She was being so aggressive. She was being aggressive. She didn't cut any corners like she has in, I believe, that match and then her second match against Nyla Rose, I think.
Yeah, that second match with Nyla Rose was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's funny because like she wrestles a certain way in ring, and like you never really see that play out. Like they have really done a disservice to whatever her character is supposed to be. They really have. Like I thought they were going to go somewhere kind of interesting with her and Abaddon, and then they just didn't. And I'm still not sure what that was all about. I thought that was going to play out a bit more.
Yeah, I did too. A Peachy Tree is just tuning in, so sorry if you've already covered this, but do you think they should have hyped up the Impact pay-per-view more on the show tonight? Also, someone said Mox and Eddie are like if 2001 Stone Cold was a tag team. Fun thought.
That's pretty funny.
That is funny.
Dude, I don't know. Okay, ideally, yeah. I mean, you would think that they would do that. But like, do you just think that contractually this was just the arrangement? And I honestly don't get it. I mean, it's like, okay, you guys get Kenny Omega and that's kind of it, which is a big boon for Impact, which is a great, it is great for Impact. But you would think that there would be at least a little bit of promotion for this pay-per-view coming up this weekend. I am kind of surprised. I don't know what the reason would be without it.
I'll put this
TV contracts?
I'll put this out. It could be. I haven't watched it yet, but I read, I think on Twitter, that a little mini doc they did about Omega versus Swan that Morrow narrated. Like the story of that is pretty much is AEW is the heel company in that regard.
They're disrespecting Impact. I read that on Twitter too.
Maybe in some sort of subtle way, AEW not promoting Impact pay-per-view feeds into that. Because you'd think, your champion is going to be on the show. You want people to see your champion. I mean, that's probably reading too much into it.
No, I mean, you made this point during my rant, is that AEW is really good with the details most times. That's the only logical explanation is either that or TV contracts. Mm-hmm. Something. Like they're not, maybe TNT has some guidelines in terms of, you can do talent exchanges, but you're not going to go around promoting their shows.
Yeah.
Even though like the flip can happen and they're just like, well, the flip can, maybe the thing was, hey, listen, we can get into this arrangement, but TNT's not going to let us do this. How can we work around it? Well, we can make you the heel show.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only logical thing I can think of.
I mean, I could see that where TNT maybe on their programming or during their programming doesn't, and I have to pay attention to see if it's true. You can't promote things that are outside of the Warner's family.
That would not shock me at all. I mean, Frenzy 5-4 just says straight up contracts are complicated. You have a TV deal worth millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It would not shock me if they were not permitted to advertise that.
That's entirely possible. Dark Shadow Zeg says some eagle-eyed viewers can tell the Elite trailer shown is different than the one hit. That trailer has been on Being the Elite in Sammy Guevara's vlogs and looks very different from the outside than shown today.
Well, it's movie magic. They made it seem like it was the same one. They'll do some silly bit on Being the Elite about it, probably.
Jimmy Thomas asks, which venue would you like to see AEW use? The ECW Arena, the Hammerstein Ballroom, or the PWG Legion Hall? Sadly, I think the American Legion Hall has at least been partially demoed.
So when I was doing one of my Wrestling Channel news reports, I made reference to the American Legion Hall, and I looked up pictures, and I think there was just like some extensive renovations happening to it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's actually been demolished. That's what I had originally thought I read somewhere.
Yeah, same.
And I could be completely wrong. I just saw a picture of like, I don't know, a front area, like sort of the front part of it being sort of like under like a lot of construction, but
maybe they demoed it and just decided to rebuild it. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm not 100% sure that it's been demolished. They might be making it unusable for wrestling.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to them touring the Hammerstein. Yeah. ECW Arena. That'd be great.
Oh, I got the Will Terminator's comment.
Like, dude, why are you bringing that up in chat here, man?
Hugh Longheavy, you can tell Shida is dropping the title to Brit because there's actually a story.
Yeah, that's happening. That's happening.
100%.
That's happening.
Dan Daniels III, Mox and Eddie costing Omega the AEW belt against Swan is completely out of the question, right?
Kingston and Mox doing what? Where are you?
Costing Omega the belt. at Impact?
It's not out of the question. It's totally not out of the question. I don't think anything's out of the question. I think that that main event is going to be an overbooked, overcooked, complete mess after probably a solid like 20 minutes of really good wrestling.
Joe Juarez, if you think AEW got to the point where they beat Raw on the ratings, how do you think Vince will react?
Will he at this point? You think? I mean, old Vince would. I mean, previous Vince would. Past Vince would. Now Vince, I don't know. He's got like billions of dollars. Yeah, I think he always feels like, oh, we're playing the long game. You know?
Yeah.
Well, your long game is just bleeding viewers, so maybe play a different game, dude. We'll do one more solid question.
Very well. Rozzy Knight, the year is 2035.
Okay. 10 years. 15.
WB and AEW, the top 2 world promotions. You have Jungle Boy, MJF, Darby, Cedric, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Bob Fish, Tony Storm, Hikaru Shida, Shayna Baszler, Io, Mia, and Leo Rush. Who are your top champs in each promotion? And who are you sitting in the mid-card?
God, 14 years from now? 14 years from now, MJF is going to be top
39.
champion of WWE.
Okay. I'll say Adam Cole is top champion of AEW.
There you go. Yeah, I could see Adam Cole being like a Triple H figure in AEW. He joins the Nightmare family, and like
the factory.
Cody's like, Cody's like the Brando guy.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll hang out for a little bit. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Till next time. Talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.